Hi guys, this is Terry David here. Some of you all may know me from my CSEC maths, physics, chemistry, and advanced videos. But I've just been through the SEA process with my daughter, and she managed to get 97.3% in her SEA maths exam in the 2023 exam, right? So I'm going to go through the solutions here to assist as much students as I can when it comes to the SEA maths exam. So in this first question here, we have a number 91005, and we want to write this number in words, right? So in order to answer this, we need to look at the place values here. So that 9 and that 1 is actually 91,000. Right? We have no value here in the 100. We have no value here in the tens. So therefore, all we have is this 5 ones here. So it's 91,005. Right? So that's your answer for this one. Question 2. We want to arrange these things in descending order. Right? So you all need to understand the difference between ascending and descending. So ascending means we are increasing in value, whereas descending means you are decreasing in value. So we need to look, so in the case of this here, we're going to start with our largest value first. So when we look at the numbers here, all of them begin with 3. So all of them have 3,000 in them, right? So now we have to look at this value here, the 100 value. So we have 1, we have 6, we have 2, and we have a next one here, right? Now descending, keep in mind, you're starting with the largest value. So if we look at the numbers here, this number will be our largest value, right? Because of the placement of this 6 here. So this is going to be 3, 6, 1, 2, right? So we dealt with that already. So now we need to look at the second number now. Next smaller number. So this one here is 3261. So we're going to put 3261, right? Now we have this number and we have this number here, but we have a 1 in the 100 position. So we need to look at the next number here. We have a 6 here and we have a 2 here, right? So which number is bigger? The bigger number will be 3162, right? And then we have the last one here, which is going to be 3126, right? So remember, descending order is from largest to smallest, right? Next one here, we want to express this as an improper fraction. So we have 2 and 3/8. So all we need to do, right, we need to take the 2, right, and multiply it by the 8. So we're going to say 2 by 8. That's going to give me 16. And then what we normally do, we add this number here. So that's going to be 16 plus 3. And that's going to give me 19, right? So therefore, 2 and 3/8 as an improper fraction will be 19/8. So this is going to be your answer here for this one. Question 4, we have a division to do. So we have 6 to 8, and we are attempting to divide this by 12, right? So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to say, all right, 12 can go into this how many times? So let's take that 12 and let's see, it can't go into the 6. So let's see how many times 12 can go into 62, right? So that is going to be 5 times, because 5 by 12 will give me 60, right? Then we have to subtract here. So 2 minus 0 will give me 2. 6 minus 6, you'll get 0. Then we need to bring this 8 down here, right? And then we're going to say, okay, 12 can go into 28 how many times? So that's going to be 2 12s can go twice. 2 12s are 24, right? And then we subtract again. And then you're going to have 8 take away 4 is going to give me 4, right? So in this case, we have a remainder. So therefore, the answer is going to be 52, right? And then we're going to have a remainder, right, of 4, right? Now, how do they want this answer? So you can give your answer as 52, right? And our remainder is 4. So it's going to be 4/12. But this here can be reduced. So we can say 52, right? Now 4 can go into 12 3 times. So we can say 52 and 1/3, right? So this is one way of expressing your answer as well. Or we could even put this as a decimal if we want to. So we can say 52.333 recurring, right? So any one of these here are possible ways of expressing our answers, right? The next one here now, we have something dealing with squares. So we have 8 squared plus 6 squared, right? Now if you all know what 8 squared is, it's actually 8 multiplied by 8. So that's going to give me 8 8s are 64. Then 6 squared is the same as saying 6 multiplied by 6. So this is going to give you 36, right? So 8 squared is 64 plus 6 6s are 36. We're going to add these two here, right? So if we were to add these two numbers here, 6 and 4 is 10, 6 and 3 9, and 1 is 10. So therefore my sum here is going to be 100, right? So that's question 5. The next one here, we want to round this off to the nearest thousand, right? So we have 15296, and I want to round this off to the nearest thousand. So this is ones, this is tens, this is hundreds, right? And this here is thousands. So what we have to do in a case like this, right? So we concern, because this here is my 1,000, right? Therefore, we need to look at our 100 to decide what to do in terms of rounding this, right? So that number 2 there, right, it's less than 5. So therefore, if you want to round this off to the nearest 1,000, it's going to be 1, 5, and you're going to put zeros here, right? So this here is going to be 15,000, right? It's question 6. Question 7, Max ate 5 cherries, which were 1/9 of the total number of cherries he packed, right? How many cherries did he pack? Now, it's best to do these kinds of questions by visualizing what's happening here. So they gave us a fraction, which is 1/9, right? And they said he ate 5 cherries, which is 1/9 of the total number he packed. So what you can do, you can draw a simple diagram here, right? So the fraction we're dealing with here is in nines. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So now what we do know is that 5 cherries, so this here, one box here represents 1/9, right? And that corresponds to 5 cherries. So therefore, you know what 1/9 is? It's 5. So if you want to get the total amount, that'll be 9 boxes here. So the total is actually simply going to be, since you know one box is 9 and you have 9 of them, it's going to be 9 multiplied by 5, and this is going to give you 45, right? So that's your answer for this one here, right? Diagrams are very helpful in the exam. So it's question 8, right? The total number of bills and the coin shown below, right? So we want the total value. So we have $20, right? Plus we have to add a next $20, right? Plus we have a $5, right? Plus we have a $1, right? And plus we have some cents here. We have 5 cents, right? Now 5 cents is actually written as 0.50, right? Sorry, 0.05, right? It's 5 cents, not 50 cents, right? So we're basically going to add this up here, right? So we have nothing on the cent side to add. So let's put 0, 0 here, put 0, 0. Right? So when we add this up here, you're going to have just the 5 cents on the side. And if we add up the numbers, 5 and 1 is 6, and 2 and 2 is 4. So that's going to be $46.05, right? The next one now, question 9, we want to calculate 15% of 120, right? Now, 15% of 120, right? Now, percentage, if we're talking percentages here, 15% is actually 15 over 100, and you're multiplying that by 120 over 1, right? Now, we can try to round off as much things as we can here, right? Or reduce as much as we can. So 5 can go into 15 3 times, and 5 can go into 100 20 times, right? So now, what else can we do here, right? So 20 can go into 120 6 times, right? So therefore, we just end up with 3 by 6, which is 18, right? So 15% of 120 is going to be 18. Now, write the digits 1, 2, 3, 4 in the squares below to create a problem with the largest sum, right? Now, if you want to get a number with the largest sum, then this side here, this number here has to be the largest possible number that we can make. Now, this 3 and this 4, those are the largest digits that we have. So we can probably put 4 here. We can probably put 3 here, right? And maybe 1 and 2. So that can give us 73 as our largest possible digit here, right? Or number that we can make. So that's number 10. Question 11. A part of the calendar for the month of April is shown below. On what day of the week is the 2nd of April, right? Now, if you notice something here, we started here on the 10th, sorry, and that's a Monday. But they want what is the 2nd of April. So you're kind of working backwards now. So you can easily use your pencil and try to work backwards. So this is going to be 9th, right? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So you realize 2 is actually falling on a Sunday, right? So the answer is going to be Sunday, right? Question 12. The total mass of a pineapple and a pawpaw is shown on the scale below. The mass of the pineapple is 2.75 kg. What is the mass of the pawpaw in grams, right? Okay, so we know the mass of the pineapple. So we know this here, right? This is 2.75, right? We don't know the mass of the pawpaw. That's what it's asking us to work out. But what we do know is that we can actually read off the scale here, right? Now, that there is, the actual reading is 3.5. And if you look at the units here, it's in kilograms. So therefore, the total mass of the pineapple and the pawpaw is 3.5 kilograms. But, right, let's see, do we need to convert? Well, they want to answer in grams, right? So what I would do here, I would convert this into grams first. So to convert to grams, we need to multiply by 1,000, right? So in this case here, it's going to be 3500 grams, right? And the mass of the pineapple, right, it is 2.75 kg, right? So therefore, convert that into grams as well, right? And that's going to be 2750 grams. So if you want to get the mass of the pawpaw, right? All we need to do, we need to subtract these two things here. So we're going to say 3,500. So I'm just working the question in grams now, right? And this is 2750, right? So first things first, we're going to have to borrow, right? So it'll be 2 here. This will be 15, but we still need to borrow from that. So this is going to be 14 here. And we're going to bring a 1 across here. So 0 for this. 10 take away 5 is 5. 14 minus 7 is going to give me 7. So therefore, the mass of the pawpaw is going to be 750 grams, right? Question 13. Identical cubes are packed into a box as shown. How many cubes are in the box? Well, this question is related to volume, right? So the base of the box, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So you have 5 in that row, but at the same time you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So therefore the base of this whole box here is going to be 5 multiplied by 4, which is 20. But then they are stacked. So you have 1, 2 levels. So the volume, right, So this here is 5 blocks this way, this is 4 blocks this way, and this is 2 blocks this way. So therefore the volume is simply going to be 5 multiplied by 4. That's the total number of blocks in the first layer. And then we need to multiply that by how many layers we have. We have 2 layers. So that's going to be 5 4s are 20. 20 by 2, you're going to get 40. So therefore we have a total of 40 cubes here, right? Question 14. Calculate the difference in length between the eraser and the pen, right? So what we need to do, we need to estimate the lengths using the ruler that they gave us here. So in the case of the pen, let's start with the pen because that's a bigger length. So we're going to kind of have to approximate. So let's say this is around 6 and this here is probably about 17, right? So therefore the length of the pen is going to be 17 minus 6, right? So this here is going to give me, right, 11. So the length of the pen is going to be 11 cm, right? Then the eraser now, we need to measure that length as well. So the length of the eraser here, if we look at this, we're going up to 4 approximately. Here we have 1. So this is going to be 4 minus 1. That's going to give me 3 centimeters, right? So therefore, if you want to get, the question says the difference. So what we need to do, we need to subtract these two things here, right? So 11 minus 3 is going to give me 8. So the difference between the lengths of the pen and the eraser is going to be 8 cm, right? Question 15, we have a pyramid here with a square base. How many edges of the pyramid have a length of 6 cm, right? Now, this length here, the slanted piece here, is 6 cm, right? Now, because this thing here is a pyramid with a square base, right? It means that this length here is also going to be 6 cm, right? It also means that this length here is also going to be 6 cm, right? And don't forget, there's one at the back here as well, right? This one here at the back here is also 6 cm. So therefore, we expect 4 edges to have a length of 6 cm. Question 16, we have an arrow pointing B. So the arrow is here, and the arrow moves 3/4 turns in an anti-clockwise direction. So we have what we call a quarter turn, right? And that here is what we call 90 degrees. Now you need to know what is meant by anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise means that you're moving in a direction opposite to how the clock normally works. So therefore, what we're going to do, we're going to go this way. This is an anti-clockwise direction. Now you're moving 3/4 turns, right? So this is 1/4 turn anti-clockwise. This is another quarter turn anti-clockwise, and this here is my 3/4 turns anti-clockwise. To which letter are we pointing now? In this case here, we're going to be pointing to C, right? So you need to understand what is a quarter turn. A quarter turn is 90 degrees. Anti-clockwise, you're moving against a clock, right? So that's 16. Question 17, name the triangle shown below. So there are different kinds of triangles, right? In this particular triangle here, you have 5 cm, 7 cm, and 9 cm. So all the lengths of this triangle here, they are all different. So therefore, this type of triangle is what we call a scalene triangle, right? That's a scalene triangle. Table below shows shoe sizes of some students. Which shoe size represents a mode? So you all need to understand what is meant by the mode. Now the mode is the thing that occurs most frequently, right? Is the thing that occurs most frequently. So in this case here, what variable are we looking at? We are looking at shoe sizes, right? So we have a shoe size of 9 and we have 11 students who have a shoe size of 9. So you need to understand the table before you can answer the question. You have a shoe size of 8. We have 3 students having a shoe size of 8. Now we're looking for the most frequent one. So if you look at the numbers here, you're going to realize that 12 is the largest number of students that we have. So therefore, the answer, because I said what shoe size, so the mode in this case here has to be 7. It is not 12, it is 7, right? It just means that 12 students had a shoe size of 7. Question 19, we want to calculate the mean of these numbers here. So to calculate our mean, right, mean is simply our sum of all our numbers divided by how many we have. So in this case here, we have 32. So let me add it across here. So 32 plus 14 plus 24, right? Well, let's put in 0 because we should include it, right? And we're going to add this up here. So 4 and 2 is 6, and 4, 10, and 5 is 15, right? So you have 15 on the outside here. So the 5 we put here, and we're going to put 1 here now. 3 and 1, 4, and 1, 5, and 2, 7. So that's going to be 75. So the sum of the numbers here is 75, and you're dividing that by how many you have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're dividing that by 5. Now keep in mind that you must count the 0 into this, right? So 75, we're going to divide that by 5, right? So let's do that somewhere here. 75 divided by 5. So 5 can go into 7 one time. 1 5 is 5, right? Then we need to subtract. 7 take away 5 is 2. Then we need to bring down this 5. So we ask ourselves, 5 into 25, you're going to get 5. 5 by 25 is 25. So there's no remainder here. So 75 divided by 5 is going to give me 15. So your mean of those numbers here, right, is going to be 15. Question 20 now. The incomplete tally chart shows the pets owned by students, right? Complete the tally chart. Okay, so, well, they have 8 here already. They have 10 here already. We have 12 dogs. So we need to know how to represent this using a tally. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We put a slash. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's our next 5. So that's a total of 10 so far. And we're still missing 2 more, right? So that's all we needed to do here for this particular question. So that takes care of section 1 of the 2023 exam paper here. Moving on to section 2 now, right? So this is section 2 here. They want us to write the missing digit in each box below, right? Write the missing digit in each box below. Now, the thing is, let's look at the numbers here. So you're subtracting, it's a subtraction we're doing here, right? Now, the thing is, you have a 1 here and you have a 7 here. There's no way 1 is going to be able to take away a 7, right? So therefore, you would have had to borrow in order to be able to subtract that 7. So let's make this an 11 here, right? So 11 minus 7 would have given me 4. So this number here has to be a 4, right? Now, to work this out here, right, since you are taking this row and you're subtracting this row to get this answer, what I would do, I would say, all right, 6, 5, 8, 4, right? And when I add it to the second row, so that's 2, 6, 3, 7, right? So 4 and 7 is going to give me 11. 8 and 3 is 11, plus this 1, that's 12, right? 6 and 5, 11, and 1, that's another 12, and 6 and 2, 8, and 1, 9. So what I'm getting here is this number, which really should correspond to what I have on top here. So the missing number has to be a 2 here, right? Hope that makes sense. So that's 21. Question 22, we have a subtraction here, right? We want to subtract 2 fractions. We have 6 minus 2 and 5 over 14, right? Now, what we can do, right? We can either convert this, right, as a fraction in terms of 14, right? Or what you can do, you can say, all right, 6 take away 2, right, is going to give you 4. This 6 here, take away 2 is going to give you 4. But you still have to remove 5 over 40, right? So therefore, all we need to do, we can say, all right, 4 minus 5 over 14, right? And your answer here is simply going to be 3. And to make up this 14 here, right, all we need to do is to take 14 minus 5, right? So this is going to be 9 as your 9 over 14 as your fraction, right? That's one possible way of working this here. So we take the whole number, this 6, and we subtract this 2, so you'd have gotten 4, but you still need to remove this here. You still need to remove the 5 over 14. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm taking 4 and you're subtracting 5 over 14, right? Now, you're going to be left with 3, and you're going to have to take a whole and subtract 5 over 14. That's one possible way of doing this thing, right? So that's 22. Right? Actually, let me just show you something here as well, right? We have 6. This is 6 wholes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? And you want to subtract 2 and 5 over 14. Right? Now, every whole here, right, is 14 over 14. Every whole is 14 over 14. Right? Now, 6 take away 2. So we're removing this, right? So you're left with this here. Right? So that is 4 wholes that you have there. But you still need to remove 5 over 14. So you're going to have to take one of these here, and you're going to have to remove a part of it. You're going to remove 5 over 14 of this, right? So this is 5 over 14. So therefore your answer will be this whole, this whole, this whole, and whatever this remainder was here, right? So that's where I got this 3 from, right? And the remaining part from the 5 over 14 is going to be 9 over 14, right? Next one here now. Karen uses 0.65 meters of cloth to make one skirt, right? How many meters of cloth would she need to make 12 similar skirts? So this is how much she needs for one skirt, but she's trying to make 12 of them. So therefore, if she's trying to make 12 of them, the amount of material or the length of cloth that she'll need, it'll be 12 multiplied by 0.65, right? So all we do here, right? So we ignore the decimal point for now. So 2 multiplied by 5 will give me 10. 1 by 5 is 5 plus 1, that's going to be 6, right? Now we're going to multiply by this 6 here now. So we need to shift and we put a 0 here. 2 by 6 will give you 12. We have a 1 here now. 1 by 6 is 6 plus 1. That's going to be 7. When I add this up here, I'm going to get 0. 6 and 2 is 8. So we add in here now. And this is going to be 7. Right? But we had 2 decimal places here. So we're going to go 1, 2. So therefore, the answer is going to be 7.80 meters. Right? So that's the total length she'll need for 12 skirts, right? Now they said they want to answer in meters, right? So that's why I left it in meters here. All right, Kim and Ben estimated the solution to a problem, right? So we're trying to work out 60 multiplied by 18, that's the problem. And Kim estimates 600 and Ben estimates 1200, right? Now they are trying to estimate here, right? Now we have 60. Right, and we have 18. What we could do is to round 18, right, to the nearest 10, which is going to be 20. So therefore, if we multiply this, right, and this could be multiplied a shorthand way. So 6 by 2 is 12, and we have 2 zeros, so it's going to be 1200, right? So this is a possible estimate for 60 multiplied by 18. So if you notice something here, Ben's estimate is the better estimate, right? And Kim estimated 600, right? So what could have happened with Kim is that she used the 60 and she multiplied by, instead of rounding this to 20, right? It's possible that she rounded it to 10 instead, right? In which case she would have gotten 6 by 1 is 6, so she would have gotten 600, right? So therefore the better estimate is going to be Ben, right? And he estimated it by rounding the 18 to the nearest 10, which is 20. So 60 by 20, you get 1200. Question 25. So shop A and shop B sell the same packet of milk. shop A sells 4 packets of milk for $26, and shop B sells 3 packets of milk and a container for $26, the price of the container is $3.20. What is the difference in the price of the packet of milk at shop A and shop B? Alright, so this is a multi-step process here, right? Problem, sorry. So they want the difference in the price of the milk. That's what they want, right? Now, in the first shop A, what we could do, you have 4 packets of milk here, and they cost $26. So what we can do, we can find the cost of one. So what do you call it? Packet? Yeah. Okay. So cost of one packet of milk. All right. So the cost of one packet of milk here is simply going to be $26, and you're dividing that by 4, right? So this is 26, and you're dividing that by 4, right? So 4 into 26, this is going to be 6. 6 4s are 24. When we subtract, you're going to get a remainder of 2, right? But so that's 6 and 2 over 4, right? Another way we can do this is to say, well, all right, put a decimal point here and put a 0 here. When we bring the 0 down here, all right, this will be 20. So you put your decimal point here. 4 into 20 is 5, right? So 5 by 4 is 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. So therefore, the cost of one packet of milk for shop A will be $6.50, right? So this is $6.50. Now, in shop B now, we don't know the cost of the packet of milk, but what we do know is that this total cost here is $26, and we know what the cost of the container is. Yeah, we do. Yeah, the price of the container is $3.20. So this here is $3.20. So what we should do, we should say, all right, take the $26, right? And we need to remove the cost of the container, which is $3.20, right? Now we need to do some borrowing here. So borrow from the 6. This becomes 5. This is going to be 10 here. So 0 minus 0 is 0. 10 take away 2 is 8. 5 take away 3 is 2. So this here, $22.80 is the cost for this plus this plus this. So what we need to do now, we need to subtract, divide the 2280 by 3 here, right? So this is 2280, and we're going to divide that by 3. So 3 into 22 is going to give me 7, right? So 7 3s are 21. When we subtract this, 2 take away 1 is 1. Then we need to bring down this 8 here. So 3 into 18, so put your decimal point here. 3 into 18 is going to be 6. So 6 3s are 18. When we subtract, we're going to get 0. So therefore, the cost of one packet of milk at shop B is going to be $7.60, right? So therefore, the question asks me for the difference. So therefore, I need to take, let me work that up here. I need to take $7.60, right? And I need to subtract $6.50, right? So 0 minus 0 is 0. 6 take away 5 is 1. 7 take away 6 is 1. So therefore, the answer is going to be $1.10, right? So this here is the answer for the difference. That's what they're talking about here, right? So it's a multi-step problem. So you're going to have to read it through and try to understand exactly what we have to do here. And the bulk of the question is based on decimals. So that's 25. Question 26, right? Andy, Tom, and Brad shared $85 among themselves. Andy receives $10 more than Tom, while Brad receives $20 more than Andy. How much should each boy receive? When you have a sharing question like this, what you should do is to write down the names of all of these people. You don't have to write the full name, but you can write letters if you want. So you could use A, T, and B if you want. But I'm going to write down the names. Right? Now, Andy, Tom, right? So you're sharing $85 among them, right? So we have $85 here, right? Now Andy receives 10 more than Tom, so we don't know how much Tom receives. So let's put a box here, right? That's how much Tom received, a box. Andy received 10 more than Tom, so therefore Andy received box plus 10, right? While Brad receives $20 more than Andy, so Brad receives $20 more than this figure here, so therefore this is going to be box plus 10, that's Andy's amount, plus 20, right? Now what we want to work out now is how much did each of them receive. Now when I add up the amounts for Andy, Tom, and Brad, I should get $85. Now when we adding it up, you realize you have 1 box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes, right? So that is 3 boxes plus, you have this 10 here, plus this 10, plus this 20. So that's 10 and 10 is 20 plus our next 20, so that's 40, right? And when I add that up, I should get $85, right? Now all we need to do here is to remove the $40 from the $85. So you end up with 3 boxes equal to 85. You have to subtract the $40. So therefore 3 boxes is equal to 8 take away 4 is 4, it's 45. So therefore the value of 1 box is going to be 45 divided by 3. So 1 box here is going to be 1. 3 can go into 4 one time. You're going to have a remainder. That's 15 here now. So this is going to be 5, right? So therefore you know the value of 1 box. 1 box is going to be 15. So therefore we can work out for each of them. So Andy is going to be 15 plus 10. So therefore Andy receives 25. Tom, well, we know he is 15. And in the case of Brad, it's going to be 15 plus 10 plus 20. And that's going to be 45, right? So the amounts, or the amount of money received by each of them will be $25, right? 15, 25, 15, and 45. Right? And this is dollars, so let me just put a dollar sign here. Dollar sign. Dollar sign. Right? So that's 26. This next one here, the cost of a bag is 3 times the cost of a cap. The total cost of 2 bags and 3 caps is $180. Right? What is the cost of 1 cap? So in a question like this, what you should do, we have a cap and we have we have a bag and a cap, right? Let me put bag first. Right, so we have bag and we have a cap, right? The total cost of 2 bags, right, and a cap is $180. Now the cost of a bag is 3 times the cost of a cap. So let's say the cost of a cap is box, and then the cost of the bag is going to be 3 times that, right? So 3 times that is going to be 3 boxes, right? So visually you need to understand what's happening here. Now they said the total cost of 2 bags, so we know that 2 bags plus a cap is $180, right? So 2 bags. Now this here is your cost figure, right? This is cost here, right? And this here is quantity, right? And they purchased 2 bags, so it's 2 bags, and they purchased 3 caps, right? Now remember, if you're working out total cost, right, what you would have had to do, you would have had to take the quantity, so it's 2 bags multiplied by the cost, right? Then you would have had to take the number of caps, which is 3 caps, multiplied by the cost, and when you add these 2 things here, you should get $180, right? So this is one of those unequal sharing problems that give students trouble, right? So what you're going to do now in this case, right, so watch this. So the total cost for your 2 bags, right, remember the cost of 1 bag is 3 boxes, right, but you have to multiply by 2. So therefore in total you should have 6 boxes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So these 6 boxes here corresponds to the total cost of the 3 bags, right? So this, sorry, of the 2 bags, right? This here represents your total cost for your 2 bags, right? Let's put a marker here so you can see it's 2 bags. Now the cost of the cap now is, the cost of 1 cap is 1 box, but you have 3 of them. So let's go, now let me put a different color here so you could kind of see what's happening, right? So this here represents 1 bag, this here represents a second bag, right? And now what we're going to do, we're going to add 3 caps. So this is 1 cap, 2 caps, 3 caps, right? So this here represents your caps, right? So you have 2 bags, right? And we have 3 caps, right? Now remember what these total number of boxes here, right? That represents a total cost figure of $180, right? Now if you look at it at this here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9 boxes. So what we can do, we can figure out the cost of 1 box. So 1 box here is actually equal to 180 over 9, right? And that's going to be $20. So therefore 1 box has a value of $20. But the thing is, that is the value of 1 cap, right? So therefore the cost of 1 cap is actually equal to $20. Doing these questions, you should probably draw a diagram. A diagram helps so much when you're doing a question like this, right? So that's 27. Question 28, we have a pattern here, right? And what we're trying to do, we're trying to figure out the first 4 elements of a pattern is shown below, right? How many squares will form the 11th pattern, right? Now, what you're going to do here, right? Right? So in the first pattern, what we can do, we can see how many squares we have there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So we have 6 here in the first. The second one, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we jump to 9. Then in the third one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We go into 12. And then the fourth one, we go into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, right? Now, based on these numbers here, we can try to figure out what the pattern is, right? Now, if we look at this here carefully, when you go from 6 to 9, right, what you've done here, you've added 3 more squares. When you jump here, right, you're still adding 3 more squares. Right? And then we go from 12 to 15, you're going to add 3 more squares, right? So all you need to do, right? So that's up to fourth, or that's up to the 4th pattern you have here, right? So we have 4th, right? 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, right? Remember, you're going up to 11th. Now you already know what the 4th one is. It's 15. So we keep adding 3. That's what the pattern is. So therefore, we're going to add 3 here. So you're going to get 18. The 6th one, you're going to add 3 more. That's 21, right? Then the 7th one, we're going to add 3 again. So this is 24. 8th one, you're going to add 3 again. So that's 27. 9th one, you're going to add 3. So this is going to be 30. The 10th one, you're going to add 3 again. So this is going to be 33. And then the 11th one, which is what they want, you're going to add 3, and that's going to give you 36. So this here is what your 11th pattern is going to, the number of squares that you're going to have in 11th pattern, right? Question 29. Draw a rectangle with area 18 square centimeters, right? Now each box has dimensions 1 cm by 1 cm. Now there are possible different ways we can get this, right? You want to get, it's a rectangle, right? And you want to get an area of 18. So you can do something like maybe 9 by 2, right? So anyhow you want to do it. Let's see if I can get 9 going on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's one length, that is 9. And then you go 2, 1, 2. So this here is one possible answer, right? There are multiple answers that could be given here, but this here is my rectangle here that has an area. So this here has an area of 18 square centimeters, right? Question 30, right? A clock shows that the time in Trinidad is 6 a.m. The clock is 15 minutes slow, right? The time in Trinidad is 2 hours ahead of the time in Canada. What is the correct time in Canada? So let's start with the Trinidad part, right? So Trinidad here, right? The clock is reading 6 a.m. Right? Now they said the clock is 15 minutes slow. So therefore the actual time, right? The actual time is going to be 6:15, right? Because the clock is slow. So therefore the actual time is 6:15 a.m. Now Trinidad time is 2 hours ahead of Canada, right? Now if the clock is, if Trinidad time is 2 hours ahead, right, it means that Canada is going to be 2 hours behind this time here, right? So therefore all we need to do is to take 6:15 a.m. and we need to subtract 2 hours from this, right? So 15 minutes can take away this, right? 6 take away 2 is 4. So therefore the actual time in Canada should be 4:15 a.m., right? So this one was pretty straightforward. Question 31. 4 identical squares are placed side by side to form a rectangle. Now each one of these things is a square, so you know this has to be 12 cm as well, right? This has to be 12 cm. Calculate the difference between the perimeter of one square and the perimeter of the rectangle. So the perimeter of the rectangle, let's say the square, right? Perimeter of square. Right? So the perimeter of the square, right? We're talking about perimeter is the distance around the square. So that's 12. There's an x12 here. There's an x12 here. And this is an x12 here. So the perimeter of a square is simply taking one length and multiply by 4. So this is going to be 12 multiplied by 4. So that's going to give me 48 cm. Right? That's the perimeter of the square. Now, we need to work out the perimeter of the rectangle. Right? So what we can do length by width if you want, right? So the width of this rectangle here is going to be 12, and this length here, this total length here, right, is going to be 12 by 4, which is 48 cm, right? So that length here, this length here is 48 cm. Now perimeter, and some students they make a little mistake with this, right? All you need to do for this one here is you can say the perimeter is length plus width multiplied by 2, right? So in this case here, we're going to take the length, which is 48 plus 12, and then you're going to multiply that by 2. So 48 plus 12, 8 and 2 is 10, 4 and 1 is 5, and 1 is 6. So this is 60, but you still have to multiply by 2. So 60 by 2 is 120 cm. So the difference, because that's what they asked for, they asked for the difference in between the perimeter of the one square and the perimeter of the rectangle. So it's going to be 120 minus 48, right? So we need to do some borrowing here. So this is going to be 11, this is 10. 10 take away 8 is going to give me 2. 11 minus 4 is going to give me 7. So therefore, the difference is going to be 72 centimeters, right? So that's the difference between the perimeters of the square and the rectangle. All right, Keisha's luggage has an is over the limit by 5 kilograms. She removed her hair dryer and shampoo and the luggage is below the limit, right, by 500 grams. When she put back the hairdryer, the luggage was over the limit by 2 kg. What is the mass of the hairdryer in grams? Okay, so in a question like this here, let's call this my limit. So let's say this is a limit here. So that's your weight limit. Now, it's over by 5 kg, right? So we don't know what the limit is, right? But what we do know is that she is overweight by 5 kg, right? So now she's at this position here, right? And that is 5 kg overweight, right? So that's 5 kg overweight. Now, when she removed her hairdryer and shampoo, so now she's removing 2 items, she went below the limit now. So now she is here now, right? So she went down. Now 5 kg is actually 5,000 grams, right? 5 kg is 5,000 grams, right? Now this here, what did she remove? The hairdryer and the shampoo, and then she went to 500 below the limit. So that means that this little, hold on, I want to use some colors here. So this here is 5,000, right, grams. That's what this piece in here represents, 5,000 grams. Now, she's now below the limit by 500, so therefore this piece in here is 500, right, grams. And what else she did? When she put back the hairdryer now, right, she's putting back the hairdryer now, and it's over the limit by 2 kg, right? So let me draw this a little better here, because I know a lot of students may have had trouble with this particular question here, right? So this is the removal. So this is when she removed the hairdryer and the shampoo, right? And then she put back the hairdryer, and now she's going up in weight here now, but she's only going up to 2 kg, right? Which in this case is going to be 2,000 grams, right? Now, the question wants to know what is the mass of the hairdryer. So let me just put this here. So this is where she add back the hairdryer. So let me just show you something here quickly, right? So remember, so this position here, right, that's when you have nothing inside of the suitcase, right? That's the mass of the suitcase without those 2 items. Now this here, this total thing here represents your over limit here, right? But that's when you have your that's the total mass. That this 5,000 grams plus this 500 grams here, that represents the mass of the hairdryer and the shampoo, right? Now, when she added the hairdryer alone, this here would represent the mass of that hairdryer, right? That's the mass of the hairdryer. So just by looking at the diagram itself, right, the mass of the hairdryer right is simply going to be, right, this 2,000 here plus this 500 here, right? So therefore it's going to be 2,000 plus 500, and that's going to give you 2,500 grams, right? So this question here, if you visualize what's happening, right, it's going to make a little more sense, right? So the answer is 2,500. Question 32, 5 equilaterals are shown below. What do we want to do with them? All right, so properties. So the first one, no line of symmetry, 1 pair of parallel lines, and 1 angle greater than a right angle. So no lines of symmetry. So no lines of symmetry. So that excludes this, right? Excludes this. So it's a trapezium or parallelogram. Let's see what else. So no line of symmetry. 1 pair of parallel sides and 1 angle greater than a right angle. 1 pair of parallel sides. Well, it can't be this because you have 2 pairs of parallel sides. So this one here will be a trapezium. This is what they're talking about here. right? This one here, 2 lines of symmetry and 2 pairs of parallel sides, no right angles. 2 lines of symmetry, 2 pairs. So we're looking for, they said no right angles, right? So that is not a square, not a rectangle, not the trapezium. So it's either the parallelogram or the rhombus, right? So the answer will be a rhombus for this one here, right? All right, next one, complete the shape in a grid. All right, well, we're using AB as the line of symmetry, so therefore we're gonna do this, right? Then we're gonna go across here, then we're gonna go up, and then we're gonna come back down, right? So that's the shape that we're looking for here. Just remember, if you have a line of symmetry, think of it like this. If you fold the paper along the line of symmetry, the 2 images must line up exactly. So that's 34, 35. The incomplete graph shows the runs scored by cricket in 3 matches. All right. The total runs in match 1 and match 2 is 100. How many runs in match 3? So what we're gonna assume here, right, is that this space in here is the same, right? We're assuming that the space in here is the same, right? So when we look at it, right, in match 1 you have 3 spaces, in match 2 you have 2 spaces, right? So therefore, when you add up match 1 and match 2, that is actually 5 spaces there, 5 spaces, right? Now they told you the total runs in match 1 and match 2 is 100. So therefore, 5 of those spaces, right, has to be equal to 100. So therefore, one spacing has to be 100 over 5. So therefore, one spacing is 20, right? So now you look at match 3 now, right? So how many spaces do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you have this one, you have this, you have this, you have this. So that's 4. So therefore the total runs scored in match 3 here will be 4 multiplied by 20, right? And that's going to give you 80 as your number of runs. Right, so that's 35. Let's look at 36 now. The incomplete table shows Paul's marks in 5 subjects. Paul's mean mark is 68, right? So this is a typical essay question. We have 5 subjects. What we can do, we can find the total marks, right? So to get the total marks, we need to take 68 and you need to multiply by the mean, right? Which was, sorry, the mean is 68. But if we look at how many subjects you have here, we have science, maths, art, music, English. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subjects. So we need to take 68 and multiply by 5. 8 5s are 40, right? And put the 4 here. 6 5s are 30. And 30 plus 4 is going to give me 340, right? So that's the sum. So what that means is that when I add up this, plus this, plus this, plus this, plus this, I should get 340. So what we will do, we'll take the 80 and we're going to add up that to the 55, the 47, and the 73. So you're going to add up all of these here. So that's 7 and 5, 12, and 3 is 15, right? So you put your 5 here, put the 1 here. 8 and 1, 9. 9 and 5 is 14, right? 14 and 4 is 18. 18 and 7 is, okay, that is correct, 9 and 5, 14, 18, right? So this will be 25, so that's 255, right? So to get the missing maths mark here, all we need to do is to take 340 and we need to subtract 255, right? So we need to do some borrowing here. So this is going to be 2, this will be 14, right? But we need to still borrow. So this becomes 13 and this is a 1 here. So 10 take away 5 is going to give me 5. And 13 minus 5 is going to give me 8. 2 minus 0, 2 minus 2 is going to give me 0. So this is 85. So therefore the maths mark here is going to be 85 in maths, right? Question 37. So Tara bought an equal number of pies and donuts and she spent $70, right? So this is important here. Now, the pies are being sold 2 for $5 and the donuts are being sold 3 for $10, right? Now, she bought equal numbers of both and the total cost was $70, right? Now, the only way that she can buy equal amounts, so she buying them in twos and she buying these in threes here, right? So therefore she can look at the possibility of buying pies. Forget about the donuts for now. If she buying pies, she could only buy pies as two pies, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I'm just showing you that's the possibilities for buying the pies. In the case of the donuts, she has to buy them in threes. So this will be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and so on, right? So those are possibilities of buying pies. Now the question says that she bought equal numbers. Now when we look at the possibilities here, right? To get equal numbers, she could buy 6 pies and she could buy 6 donuts. So that's an equal number, right? I mean, there are other possibilities as well. You can buy 12, right? But we know that the total cost is going to be $70. So let's try scenario 1 here, right? Scenario 1 is if she buys 6 of each of them. Now if she buys 6 of each, now 2 pies cost $5. So if she's buying 6, right? So 2 pies, right, cost $5, right? So that means that if she's buying 6 pies, right, it'll be 3 times 5, right? So it's going to be $5 multiplied by 3. That's going to give me $15, right? So that's one possibility. So she collected, she bought 6 pies and she paid $15 for that. Now let's do the scenario now for the donuts now. So you know that 3 donuts, right, cost $10. Right, 3 donuts cost $10. Now if she's buying 6, right, it's going to be double that amount. Right, so it's going to be the $10 multiplied by 2. So that's going to give me $20. Right, so let's look at this here now. But when I add up these two figures, when I add up the $15 plus the $20, I'm still not getting $70. I'm still not getting $70. When I add those two figures, I'm getting 15 plus 20, and you're gonna get $35, right? So this can't be correct, right? This can't be correct. Right, so now we're gonna look at scenario 2. So she can't buy 6 pies and 6 donuts. It won't work out to give me the $70, right? So let's do it now for 12 donuts and 12 pies. So we already know that 2 pies, right, cost $5, right? So therefore, if you're going with 12 now, 12 pies, right? So every 2 pie costs $5 here. So therefore, you have to multiply by 6 now. So 5 multiplied by 6, and that's going to give you $30, right? So that's if she buys 12 pies. Now, in the case of the donuts, we have 3 donuts costing $10. Right? So if you buy 12 donuts, 12 donuts here is 4 times the price. So it's going to be 10 multiplied by 4, and that's going to give you $40. Right? Now let's add those two figures now. So if you add the cost of the pies, which will be $30, right, and the cost of the donuts, which is 40, you realize, hey, I'm getting the $70 now, right? Remember, this is the total cost here. So therefore, what the question asks for? How many pies, right? So number of pies bought. So therefore, number of pies bought will be 12. right? So that's the answer for question 37, right? Question 38, right? A lot of students found this question to be rather challenging, right? So Dave made a decoration by sticking rectangular strips of Bristol board together. When two strips were stuck together, there was an overlap of 4 cm, right? So you have to understand what's happening here. We have another overlap, right? When you're sticking these two pieces together, right? Now, what's happening here? Dave stuck 13 strips of Bristol board, each of length 15 cm. Now, the length of the Bristol board is 15 cm, right? To make a decoration, calculate the length of Dave's decoration, right? Now, here's what's happening here. So, with the first strip, right, there's an overlap, right? So remember, they said that it's 15 cm here. So therefore, this first strip here, right, is going to correspond to a length of 11 cm, right? That's on this side. Now, on the 13 side as well, you're going to have 11 cm here as well because of the overlap, right? Now, your challenge now is to figure out what am I going to do in the middle, right? Now, okay, so there are multiple ways we can approach this question, right? So we know that this first piece here is 11 and this last piece here is 13. Sorry, is 11 as well, right? Now, because of the overlap here, remember this is 4 cm here, it means that this white piece here, right, has to be 11 minus this 4 minus this 4. So this length here has to be 7 cm. Right, that's that length there. That's gonna be 7. Saying that correct? 1 second. Yeah, that's gonna be 7 cm. Right. Now, what we can do, we can try to ignore. Right, we can try to ignore this beginning piece and this end piece here. Right, this end piece here. So what that means is that from the second piece moving forward, that's from here. Right, from the second right up until the 12th, those pieces are identical, right? Those pieces are identical. So this distance here, right, is going to be 7 plus 4. That is going to be 11 cm. Those are identical pieces, right? Now let's see how we're going to work out this length here now. So the length from the second, right, to the 12th, right? That length there is going to be 11 cm, right? Let me just put 11, right? Multiply by how many pieces we're going to have in the middle there. Now, if you're going from the second piece right up until the 12th, that's actually going to be 11 pieces that you're going to get there, right? Remember, you're taking 13 strips in order to make this thing, right? 13 strips in order to make this thing. And we already said I'm going to ignore the first and I'm ignoring the 13th. Right? So if you ignore the first and ignore the 13th, it means that what you're actually left with is 11 pieces, right, in the middle. So that's going to be 11 by 11. So this is going to be a length of 121 cm. Now, what am I missing still? In terms of completing the length here now, what we need to account for, this 13 piece here, which is going to be 11 cm. So we have to add 11 cm. Right, and then remember we excluded this beginning piece here, which is this 11 plus 4, so that's 15 cm. We excluded, right? Like I said, there are multiple ways you can work this question, right? So 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 and 5 is 7, 2 and 1 is 3 and 1 4, so this is 147 cm, right? So that's the length, the total length of this particular decoration, right? But as I said, there are multiple ways you can work it. Because of the overlap, what I did, I took the first piece, right? I'm going to treat that by itself, right? That's a 15 cm piece. The last piece now, right? I'm only taking this white piece here. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that all the middle pieces, they're going to be identical, which is made up of a white piece and a darkish piece, right? So that's why I said 11 multiplied by 11 to give me the 121. Add the end piece, right, and add the beginning piece, and you're going to get 147. But like I said, there are multiple ways to work the problem. All right, this is question 39. Jenna drew a 5-sided shape with with one right angle, two sides of the shape are shown below, right? So what do you want to do? Complete the shape by joining the dots. So you want to draw a five-sided shape, right, with one right angle, right? One right angle. So how are we going to do this now? So let's see. If you want to get one right angle, I could probably maybe go down here, right? Go across here, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we could do this, right? So this here is my five-sided shape, right, with one right angle. So this is my one right angle here. What they want now? So that's part A. Describe all the angles in the shape. Well, they're asking for a lot there. Right? So what I would do in a scenario like this, I'll label my angles. Call this A, call this B, call this C, and we're going to call this D. Right? It's going to help to answer the question. So angle A is acute, right? Angle B, we already know it's a right angle. Right, and angle C, right, is also acute. Right, angle D is acute. Right, and I realize I should include this angle here as well. Right, and that angle there, let's call that E. That's a reflex angle. Right, so those are all the angles that are present in this five-sided figure. And the last question, question 40. What do we have here? We have Brandy and Clara played 3 rounds of a video game, right? Okay. What else are you telling me here? I want to know what is the lowest score that Brandy should obtain in round 3 to qualify for silver. Now, to qualify for silver, you need to get an average score of 91. So let's see. Okay, so it's 3 rounds. So average score is 91. So we're going to take 91 and multiply by it's 3 rounds that you have. So 1 3 is 3, 9 3s are 27. Right? So all you need to do, you need to add up the 90 plus the 82. 9 and 8, 17, that's 172. So therefore, to figure out what she needs here, it's going to be 273 minus 172. 3 take away 2 is 1, 7 take away 7 is 0, 2 take away 1 is 1. So therefore, she needs to get 101 in order to qualify for a silver, right? And the last part now, part B, Clara's total score is 140. So who's Clara now? Right. So total score is 140. Right, and her score in round 2 is 3 times round 3. Her score in round 2 is 3 times. So let's call this score box, and this here is 3 times, so that's 3 box. So basically, we're gonna add up. That's not what they want. All right, what is her score in round 3 here? Right, so they want to know what is this box here. That's what we want. So all we need to do here, we need to add up the 48 plus this 3 box plus this, and that should equal to 140, right? So 3 boxes plus 1, that's 4 boxes. So therefore 48 plus 4 boxes, right, is equal to a total of 140, right? So therefore 4 boxes has to be equal to, we're going to take 140 and we're going to minus 48. Right? So we need to do some borrowing here again. So this is going to be 13 and this is going to be 10. 10 take away 8 is 2. Right? And this is going to give me 13 minus 4. Right? 13 minus 4. Right? Is going to give me 9. Right? So therefore 4 boxes is equal to 92. So 1 box is equal to 92 divided by 4. So therefore 1 box is equal to, so 92 divided by 4, that's 2 4s are 8, 9 take away 8 is 1, 2, so this is going to be 3 here, 3 4s are 12, right? So therefore 1 box is equal to 12. So therefore, if I go back here, so this here is going to be 23, right? That's the answer we're looking for, right? So guys, just hit like and subscribe to my channel, right? And I'll provide more solutions for you guys, right?